What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Pop Coach Amika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because when we got the Red Cup, we're about to spill some truth. So I wanted to come on here today and talk about Kamala Harris. All right. Kamala Harris is out of order. And frankly, I'm just tired of the lies. We're going to jump right into it. Kamala Harris's record is one that people need to pay attention to. Okay. At this point, they have lied and lied and lied about everything in this woman's record. And for Black people and other minorities to want to elect this woman, we talk about a threat to democracy. This definitely would be, okay? And it pushes agendas and ideas that normally people would push back on. But because of what she's perceived to be, a Black woman or a woman of color, no one's pushing back on these things. All right. The mainstream media continues, and I do mean continues, to allow this woman to lie deliberately. And she elaborates on these lies. All right. So we're going to jump right into it. All right. I want to jump into her record. Her record is despicable. And it just seems like it changes with the wind. But I assure you, she cannot go back on what's already recorded. We're in the information era. We're in the era where everyone has a camera. Everything is recorded. Big Brother is here. So guess what? We're going to use all of our tools, resources, research, and we're going to do the work. So let's jump into it. Okay, so right now there is a topic of her truancy record, okay, when she was attorney general. And the mainstream media then and now continues to lie and tell you that there's nothing out of order about her record, and especially with this truancy. So I want you to see, and I'm very passionate about this, so I had to pause for a second. I want you to see how the mainstream media covers for something that's on record. Okay. And then we'll come back and talk about it all. Here we go.
Ever since Kamala Harris became the de facto Democratic presidential nominee, Republicans are talking an awful lot about her time as a California prosecutor, particularly the accusation that she jailed parents whose kids were chronically absent from school, otherwise known as truancy. Whitley Yates, the director of diversity for Indiana's Republican Party, even highlighted that claim right here on last week's The Sunday Show.
I'm talking about, like she stated, when she was a prosecutor and the way in which she prosecuted parents for the truancy. I'm talking about when she...
Not a single parent went to jail for that, by the way.
And did. And she...
So that's incorrect.
When she was...
Let me pick up on Amisha Cross's not a single parent rebuttal and set the record straight on this. It's true. Kamala Harris never sent parents to jail for their kids' truancy. As San Francisco DA, Harris was heavily invested in ending truancy. She explained in a 2009 op-ed, quote, "I see what happens on the back end of school failures. Young lives are being lost to street violence or prison time at an appalling rate. We must also take seriously the task of keeping our kids in school." 3 data points drove her to act. 44% of truant students were in elementary school. 94% of all homicide victims in San Francisco under the age of 25 were high school dropouts. And 2/3 of California prison inmates were high school dropouts. So Harris launched a program aimed at kids missing a lot of school, 60 to 80 days out of a 180-day school year. Struggling families were linked to resources they needed to help keep their kids in schools. Those who ignored warnings were brought before a special truancy court where they faced misdemeanor charges. Not one person went to jail, not one. And according to the San Francisco Unified School District, Harris's initiative helped reduce truancy among elementary school kids by 23% over a 2-year period.
All right. So y'all just saw that, right? The lies that the media tells for this woman. All right. Yeah. Truancy did drop. It sure did. However, how they frame it and what they're telling you is a lie. But they said she never jailed anybody. Okay. Well, let's also see what she said on the Breakfast Club.
Is a fundamental right. My belief that a child going without an education is something that all of us as a community should be highly concerned with, and we should put in place incentives to get children into school every day. Here's the thing that was behind that. I did an analysis of who the homicide victims were who were under the age of 25 when they were killed. And in when I was DA. And over 90% of them are high school dropouts. When I started to look at the statistics, I realized that 82% of the prisoners in the United States are high school dropouts.
Okay. So she's going to use that point. All right. She's going to use that point to do the following. So we're going to touch on this.
Your truancy program got a lot of criticism too. Did you actually lock anybody up?
No, we never locked anybody up. That was an initiative that was focused on my belief that.
So there she is stating that she never locked anyone up. You heard MSNBC. She never locked anyone up. She never did, right? Okay, let's get into it. So now again, those were interviews. This is what she said at her inauguration.
Fix it. In San Francisco, we threatened the parents of truants with prosecution, and truancy dropped 32%. So we are putting parents on notice. If you fail to take responsibility for your kids, we are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
So right here, you hear her saying, if you do not follow this law, they will prosecute you. However, she has stated on the Breakfast Club, and the media has stated time and time again that she never jailed anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a lie. Okay. And the fact that the media perpetuates this is appalling, because the American people need to have the facts. Okay. Black people need to have the facts. Latino people need to have the facts. People of color, white people need to have the facts. We're all voting for the president. Okay. And if you're not going to be honest about your own record, what makes her a good candidate? Okay. Well, let's go on and actually see who she jailed.
I intend to fight for Black Lives Matters. I intend to fight.
If Black Lives matter to her, why didn't I matter?
I don't agree what Kamala Harris did to my mom. And I don't agree with what she's done to other parents as well.
My message to all Americans, especially Black Americans, do not trust Kamala Harris.
I'm so proud of you right now, because you walked all the way down here and I wasn't expecting you to walk.
My daughter, Shayla, suffers from sickle cell anemia, a chronic, painful genetic disease.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick.
It's a very sharp stabbing pain, and it hurts a whole lot. Like from my chest all the way down, it hurts, including my side.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
When Kamala Harris was the California Attorney General, she had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
Kamala Harris stated that she never had anyone arrested. Nobody ever went to jail. That this was just, just to get parents in line. It's way bigger than that. But we're going to start there. It was just to get parents in line. What happened with this mother? Why aren't they talking about this mother. By the way, her name is CHEREE Peoples. Okay, we're gonna continue.
I spend a majority of my time here at the hospital.
Kamala's horrible policies hurt mothers like me and the Black community. My name is CHEREE Peoples, and this is my story. I am a single mother. I've worked as a certified nursing assistant and a caregiver. My daughter Shayla was born in 2002. When she was born, she was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia. It affects all major organs in the body and also causes extreme pain.
Now, if you're wondering why all of this is being recorded, because of the law, this mother, and thankfully she did, this mother decided, to document everything. And you can see here, the little girl is crying, and I feel so bad for her, because I actually know people with the same disease. But here you have a mother who's working and her daughter who's suffering, having to deal with Kamala Harris's nonsense with the truancy law, okay? Which has nothing to do with protecting children, keeping them out of the prison pipeline and all this other stuff she's talking about. Let's continue.
Her whole life, she has been on medications like morphine and Dilaudid to help her control the pain. In addition, she had to undergo blood transfusions every 3 weeks. My lifestyle became taking care of her almost full time. It is pretty typical for kids with Shayla disability to miss a lot of school.
I just got out of school. I've done 3 full days this week. Oh, I'm so tired.
And for years, the teachers were aware of her condition and her absences were all excused. California schools get their state and federal funding based off of average daily attendance. Schools are paid about $30 per student per day.
So, as I stated earlier, this is not about protecting young children. This is about money. It always is about money with politicians. However, this is about money. These truancies that California was having was costing them money, was costing them funding, okay? Now, it's way more now, all right? The ADA per students now is somewhere in the high 20,000s. So you have them getting all of this money per student, and don't let them be special education students, okay? Parents, do not let them put your children on IEPs if they do not need them. If they do need them to get specific services, I understand. But a lot of these children do not need them. But they get the funding, okay? When you have special education students, they get the funding, and it doesn't even have to go to special education. It can go to anything in that school. And that is the problem. There's no oversight on that. They're just taking money and doing whatever they want with it.
In San Francisco, we threatened the parents of truants with prosecution.
I first heard of Kamala Harris when she got elected California Attorney General.
We are putting parents on notice. We are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
She wrote a report saying truancy was costing California schools $1.4 billion a year in funding.
What did I say? It's always about the money. It had nothing to do with children being, going to prisons, being part of the homicide rate, children not getting ahead in life. It had nothing to do with any of that. It always has to do with the state, their money, their taxes, their funding. It's always the case.
Because of truancy, California public schools lose $1.4 billion a year in funding.
I want money.
Kamala.
That laugh drives me insane because she laughs at the most inoperable, stupid times. Like, this stuff is not funny. The stuff that you're talking about is serious. It affects people's lives. And every time she does that laugh, she only does it when she's talking about affecting other people's lives, particularly Black and brown people, particularly Black people.
Then wrote a law making it criminal for parents if their kids miss school time. Kamala even wrote a book called Smart on Crime.
You can read an excerpt from the book that she just plugged shamelessly. It's called Smart on Crime.
Talking about arresting parents for truancy.
I sent a letter on my letterhead out to every parent in the public school system.
In 2012, like all California parents, I received a threatening letter from Kamala Harris saying we'll go to jail for a year if our kids even miss 10% of school days. It was like a crazy intimidation tactic.
I'm going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
I thought, wow, this woman doesn't have any empathy. Is it because she's not a mother? I also thought, how could she not understand it would disproportionately affect people of color?
Oh, she definitely understood that it would do that. Okay. Kamala Harris has consistently on her record, she has done this over and over again with things that she has implemented, things that she has done. She knows that these things are going to affect people of color. She does not care. And they keep trying to erase this record of hers, but we're going to talk about it today.
Single Black mothers. But honestly, I didn't imagine it could affect me. Her teachers had her medical records from the Children's Hospital. I even had a 504 plan, which was an agreement between the school district and the parents to provide care for students with disabilities. It was April 18th, 2013, in the morning. I'm in my pajamas. I had just fed my daughter, gave her medications, sent her off to school. Little did I know, there was a warrant out for my arrest. All of a sudden, the police is outside my house and they started banging on the door. I opened up my door and 2 officers entered my home. They told me I was under arrest for my child missing school. They said I was going to jail. I was shocked.
Wait, so she's going to jail? I thought Kamala never jailed anybody. What happened to that? Just chock full of lies.
I said, but my baby is sick. The school knows that. And they said, go talk to Kamala Harris. Place your hands behind your back.
My mom did nothing wrong. We did everything we were supposed to. I was always bringing doctor's notes, always calling the school to let them know that I was in the hospital.
Then they handcuffed me. So they take me outside for what you call a perp walk.
Look at that.
And oh my God, the TV news was there. The newspapers were there. You could swear I had killed somebody. It was degrading and humiliating. I was taken to the Criminal Justice Center. They took my mugshot. I was fingerprinted like a criminal, and I was terrified.
So you have a single Black mother who the Democratic Party always say they're champion for. You have a single Black mother here with a sick child, an actual sick child with doctor's notes, with evidence that her child is sick. And here it is, Kamala Harris is just doing whatever she wants, per usual. And then has the nerve to have the press to show up. The press shows up. Why does the press show up? The press shows up to use this moment as a means of setting an example.
And it felt like I caused her so much pain because in reality, it is because of me, even though I know it's not directly my fault. Sorry.
The next day, the Orange County Register showed the pictures of my arrest.
So if you look at this here, right? If you look at this here, it's literally showing keeping kids in school out of games. You got a mother that's home with her sick child, and this is how they frame it. When I tell you the media is insane, the media is insane. Why would you guys lie like this?
He even had a close-up picture of my hands in handcuffs to show here's a Black mother being arrested.
It's a truancy rate at over 2.5 times that of white students.
Everyone knew most truant kids were Black. I think Kamala Harris wanted me as an example to threaten other single Black mothers, like, this can happen to you if you don't get your kids in class. The police even put out a press release naming me and other Black single mothers like Toya Daniels, who got arrested the same day. But my hell was just beginning. They gave me 2 charges: failure to supervise and encourage school attendance, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
How do you fail to supervise? How is the delinquency of a minor when your child is sick? That woman is sick. I'm telling you, if you have all the evidence there, what are you doing?
I couldn't believe it. They framed my daughter as a gang member and basically charged me with neglect. I spent the next 2 years in court fighting these charges. Kamala assigned her nastiest prosecutors to my case.
My homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors. And they went over there and I said, when you go over there, look really mean.
Y'all voting for that woman? You assign homicide and gang, the worst people in society. You assign to truancy, and then she laughs about telling them to go over there and look mean. The woman said that she was that those people were nasty and mean. Well, Commander-in-Chief right there just told him to do it. When I tell you the outrage, people should be given to this woman. She never gets any of it. Never. She actually has a record of not only bothering Black folks, but actual policy-driven things that are going to affect people's lives. She has a record of it. They sit here and talk about Donald Trump all day in Central Park 5. He didn't put them boys in jail. He took out an ad. Y'all are mad about an ad, but you're not mad about Kamala Harris actually sticking somebody in jail. Sticking multiple people in jail at that. But then sitting up here lying, saying, I've never. No, I never. And then the media, no, she's never. Hear me clear. She's never. To me, y'all vote for that. You deserve what you get. That is ridiculous.
Like 10 different prosecutors. They kept pressuring me to plead guilty and spend a year in jail, but I kept refusing because I did nothing wrong. All the time I had to spend going to court, I was struggling to care for my child. I lost my job and couldn't pay rent, and we got evicted. I became
all of that Kamala helps. Where's the money that Kamala helped with this woman here losing everything, and she did nothing wrong? Where's the money? Please.
Became homeless. We had to move into a motel,
and I ended up being in the hospital a lot during her trial. And in that hospital stay was when I had my stroke. I had a stroke about 4 or 5 days ago. And what?
I just had to stop myself because I really like I feel a certain way about children. I'm telling you, this nonsense is the stuff this woman has done. I don't know how y'all letting her get away with this. I really don't. but I had to stop myself just now because I literally teared up. Like, this is a child.
Now I'm doing pretty good. My hand is doing okay, I guess.
In 2015, after 2 years, they finally just gave up and dismissed my case. In 2018, the Supreme Court of California ruled that truancy cannot be punished by incarceration. It was unconstitutional. The courts finally stopped Kamala Harris' abuses.
So I'm gonna leave that right there. Okay. Oof. So here you have Kamala Harris and her record and lives she has destroyed. That's on public record. And all the media talks about, all the media says the only person that's a threat is Donald Trump. That's a threat. That's definitely a threat. That's a threat to society. That's a threat to mothers. It's not even like the truancy was by case. You put them all there. You had the media come out. They wrote press releases. I'm glad that this woman saved all this stuff. I'm glad she saved all those documentations because the Democratic Party, the media, and all of them, they like to play these games and say, "Oh, that's incorrect. That's wrong." Okay, what you gonna tell this mother? Nobody talks about that. This is her record. So yes, when people say, "Oh, well, you don't want to vote for Kamala because she's a woman," no, I don't want to vote for Kamala because she's actually affected people's lives. She hasn't just offended somebody. She hasn't just said mean things. She hasn't just acted like a bully. She's actually affecting people's lives. She put people in prison. This is 7 years. 7 years is a long time to be somewhere for something that you did not do. No apology. He had to go and sue, and he won. It's crazy. 30 million. And he won. Okay. Miss Peoples, same thing. It's asinine that I have to have an argument about a woman who's actually affecting lives. You want to complain and complain and complain about Bad Man Orange when you got Kamala. Here it is. Okay. At the end of the day, Kamala's record is what it is. If y'all choose to not pay attention to it, that's fine. But Kamala's record is what it is. She's always out of line. She's always out of order. The media will continue to spin facts, to tell you whatever they want. But one thing they can't do is scrub the internet. We have the facts. And the facts are Kamala Harris is not fit to be president. She blows one way, and if there's something else, she'll blow that way too. But what we do know is that she has affected negatively Black and brown lives, people in poverty, people that she supposedly has championed for. Every time you turn around, I spent my entire life. Okay, you spent your entire life record, okay, because it's her record. She spent that doing exactly what she wanted to do. And what she wanted to do was be quote unquote top cop, tough on crime. But she didn't go after actual criminals. She went after soft targets that couldn't fight back. She went after mothers. innocent men for nefarious reasons. Okay. The prisons in California, private, funded, state, all of them, keeping people in there for longer than they should have been. That's Kamala's record. All of this stuff is facts. These are people talking out of their own mouth. And just like in Alabama and just like in Ohio, y'all don't listen. Y'all don't listen to the people. Y'all sit here and listen to MSNBC, CNN, and ABC talking points because that's what you want to believe. But guess what? On this program right here, we're always going to spill the truth. In that red cup, nothing but the truth is coming out. Let me know what you guys think about Kamala Harris's record and how out of order she has been. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree. But look at the facts and then tell me your thoughts. It's your girl, Pop Culture Mika. I'm out.